Yeah, I want to talk about rejecting the culture. So the culture that we live in, this, at least in America, which is a very, whew, to say consumerist is a huge understatement. It's gosh, everywhere you go, you're being sold something, uh, whether overtly or um, implicitly. Everything is for sale. Everything is about money and commerce. Um, I've recently had an experience uh, living closer to the street than I've ever lived before. Walking around with less than $10 in my pocket, um, and meaning in my pocket, meaning that's all I had. I didn't have a bank account or um, um, anyway. So point being, I had very little money, and when one has very little money like that, one becomes aware that it's kind of hard to find free places just to be. I mean, there are parks and there are libraries, and so we see a lot of homeless people congregating there. Um, and part of that is that everything else is for sale. Even when you go out into the countryside, there are these huge tracts of land that look. Some of them look really inviting, but they're all. There's barbed wire around um, most of them, or signs that say no trespassing. Or I mean, they're all privately owned. So this country is a country of private property. Uh, and that creates strange incentives. People are always trying to sell you things, and whether or not they're telling the truth, right? I mean, we look at advertising, and a lot of advertising is not honest. It's you have a car commercial that says it's going to cure your ills and make you feel like $1 million all the time, and it's clearly not true. I mean, we kind of know that advertising isn't true, but still, everyone is doing their best to sell you things, and it creates kind of in a way, a perversity, a feeling of lying being the name of the game, and everyone kind of buying into it because that's just what the game is. Um, so all that's been pretty well documented, and people have talked about that a lot. What I really wanted to talk about is this notion of rejecting the culture, because if I look at myself, often I walk around and I'm disgusted. I just walked past this brand new brunch place in Austin, and Austin's a great city, but it's also very very glossy, very consumerist, and gentrified and appealing to people with money. So there's this new brunch place, and there are all these kind of young collegey people in it, chatting away, looking beautiful, and the girls, their hair is exquisite, and they're all ordering expensive food and throwing money around. And at one point, that was much more normal for me. I mean, I didn't question that so much. I thought that was what life was. These days, I have trouble even going into a place like that because I don't like the way it feels. It feels like people are skating on the surface and kind of laughing, ha ha ha, and not really aware of the deeper currents of feeling that are going on, about all the people who are suffering, about the vast inequity between the high and the low. But I've noticed that when I reject the culture, when I say, I want nothing to do with this is repugnant to me, the culture rejects me back. There's everything in life is relationship. And so anything that we're rejecting, it goes both ways. And there's this feeling of estrangement from what's going on. So I'm really in my own life looking for a different solution to that. How to engage with a culture that I don't like. How to engage with a person that I don't like. Um, how to be with these things in a way that doesn't add aggression, where I'm not attacking them in my mind. I'm not attacking the culture and then feeling attacked and rejected by it. So I'm not offering a solution in this video, and I'm not really even asking for a solution. I'm not asking for advice. I'm just pointing to this question of how we can be with a culture when it doesn't feel like it fits our needs. And that's the question for today.